So don't forget we have every pieces in double. So this is the second piece for the center back. So I will repeat the same process and I will trim off the excess. So guys, now that I've worked on the lining side, so the next step is to work on the fabric side. So I'll go to the vent area, which is here. And I will turn this to the right side. So now I have the fabric side properly laid, and here is the vent area. You can see what I have. This is the center piece and this is the back piece. The back piece is on the center piece. So now I will open this up to the wrong side like so. Guys, you need to take note of this. When you are ironing, make sure you iron the hem allowance first before ironing the vent allowance. So this will come first, then the vent allowance will overlap on it. So that is how you can achieve this step I'm about to show you. So in doing this, you can see I have this folded and I have this as the center point. Okay, so I will mark this. I'm trimming off the excess I have over there. So I have this like so. This is the vent allowance. That is the one that comes down vertically. So I will mark the midpoint like so, and I will extend it outward to the wrong side of the fabric so that it will show clearly. You can see what I have. Then I will mark it upward as well. So I will mark it upward clearly. So with this, I'll be having something like a plus sign. Can you see what I have? So I will have it like so. So when I marked that, then I will open up the allowance. So which I will have something like this. Can you see what I have? So this marked point, which I have here, I will transfer it to the wrong side so that I will be able to see it clearly. Here is the mark. If you cannot see it, you will see it when I marked it on the wrong side. So you can see what I have. I have it like so. So I will open up the hem allowance and the vent allowance. Then I will position my ruler like so. So this point is a guide and the midpoint as well. Here is the midpoint. So ignore the point I have here. This is no more in use. So I will place it. I'm connecting this mark point and the midpoint together. So with this, I'll be able to draw a perfect straight line. So I will take it up like so. So this is very easy. So this is the easiest method so far. So you can see what I have. So I've drawn this out. Then I will hold the two pieces, one side, the other side. I will hold it like so. I want this line and this line to meet. Don't forget, this is the midpoint, this is the center. Then I will hold it like this. So these and these are coming together. These 2 points are coming together. So here is the first point, this is the second point. You can see what I have. So I will hold it like so. So the midpoint is a guide. I will make sure this line falls on the midpoint. Can you see what I have? So once I have it like this, then I will secure it with my sewing pins. So now I will be stitching from this point all the way downwards, and I will leave half of an inch from this edge. I will measure half of an inch upward, and I will stop on the half of an inch point. So you can see what I have exactly half of an inch here. So from this point to half of an inch point, so that is where I will be stitching. So when I'm done with this, I will repeat the same process on the other piece. So now I will be stitching on the straight line and stop on the half of an inch point. So guys, now I have this stitched, then I will measure 0.375 forward. So it can be between 0.25 and 0.375. So this is just like a seam allowance so that I will not trim off all the edges. So this is 0.25 and this is 0.375, and I will mark the point. So I'm taking this measurement from the seam line, 0.375. Okay, so now I will be cutting on the 0.375 line. So I will trim this off like so. Okay, so now I have this trimmed off. So you can see the center point. I will place a notch at the center point here. So make sure you did not cut off your seam. So this is what I have after notching. So I will open this up. So that's the seam allowance I left. I will open it up. I will give it a press. So I will make sure this is pressed flat. So I will have it very flat. So after pressing it flat, then I will turn the inside out. So I will hold it at the center, then I will turn it like so. So after turning, this is what I will have. Then all the allowances will go back to their position. So I will make sure I push this out. So I cannot do this now. I want to give it a press first. So I will push out the edges with my scissors, so the edges will be pointed very well. Okay, so this is what I will have after doing that. So I'll be doing this off the camera and I will be back to show you the next step. So when I'm done with this, I will repeat the same process for the other piece. So guys, this is what I have after turning it inside out and giving it a good press. So this is what I have on the wrong side, and for the other side as well, you can see what I have. So make sure you are very close to your ironing board when you are constructing a suit jacket. So this is very important. It will give you a very good result. You can see what I have. So this is going to be on this. Okay, so now that I have this done, the next step is to join the lining and the fabrics together. In joining the fabrics and the lining together, I will be working on the center piece. Don't forget, we've worked on the back piece, which is this, and also on the lining as well. But this time around, I will be working on the side piece on the fabric and the side piece on the lining. So I will be joining this together with this. But before joining the two together, I will have to trim off the length of the lining, because the lining has to be shorter than the main fabric. You can see what I have here is almost the same length. So I intentionally left it like so that when I'm ready to construct the vent, I will trim off the excess. I will come to the armhole area, then I will align my fabric and my lining properly like so, and I will pin them all around. So guys, now I have the armhole area pinned together. As you can see, I've pinned it all around. So this will allow my lining to stay firmly inside the fabric. So also I will come to the edges. So I will pick this together like so, and I will pin the edges together. So with this, after construction, I will not have more or lesser. So everything will be accurate. The lining also will sit conveniently inside the jacket. Okay, so now that I have this pinned, you can see what I'm having already. You can see the lining is properly relaxed on the fabric. So now I will be taking the measurement of my vent allowance. the vent allowance I'm working with is 2.5 inches. Okay, so I have it here, but by the time I fold on the 2.5 inches, this is going to fall by the time I fold on the 2.5 inches, which I've ironed out, so this is where it's going to fall on the lining. So I will trace out the points. So I will trace it out all the way to the other side. So before you do this, make sure you've ironed out your hem allowance. Make sure you take the measurement properly, then you iron it out. Okay, so now that I've marked out the points, then I will be measuring half of an inch downward. The half of an inch is seam allowance, which I will be using in joining this and this together, the lining and the main fabric. So on the line I marked out, I will measure half of an inch towards the hem line. Then I will make it a straight line. Okay, so now that I have this done, then I will be trimming off the excess. So that is the line I marked out as the seam allowance. So I will cut this all through from this edge to this edge, but because of the joining I have here, I will open up this seam, and for this side as well, I will open up the seam before cutting the remaining part. So for this reason, I will be leaving this like so for now. So when I get to the end of the lining, I will stop, which is here. So I will stop it and cut this out. So I will be taking care of this later. So now back to the vent area. Don't forget we are working on the vent area, so I don't want this to interrupt. So we are working on the vent area. I've trimmed this off now. So the next step is to stitch right side facing the right side. This is the right side of the lining and this is the right side of the fabric. So I will open it up like so, then turn it right side facing the right side. Then I will place the edges properly like so, and I will stitch with the half of an inch I marked out. So guys, after stitching, this is what I will have. You can see what I have. So, and the opening I have by the side also have to be closed. You can see the opening I have here, that is half of an inch I left when I was joining this side. Okay, so I will take this back to right side facing the right side like so. So after stitching the hem line, so I will stitch this as well. Can you see what I'm having? So I will stitch it all the way to the hem line, and make sure you fold on the ironed part. So that's the part I ironed out, so that by the time I turn this to the wrong side, the shape will come out properly. So now that I have this pinned like so, I will turn it to the right side, so that you will have the idea of what I'm doing. So I've turned it to the right side. After stitching the hem line, this is what I will have. You can see this. So I will be stitching this on the vertical line as well, from this edge to this edge. You can see I have half of an inch here, so I will hold it like so, right side, not in this positioning, but right side facing the right side. Then I will stitch all the way down.